My name's Steven Zumbrin. I am the owner of Piratical Productions, and I manage the space called the ES Jungle.
In the basement where they found me, I feel like it. And that's only
The first show that we did was my wife and I were getting married, and I learned that in doing and working on putting together a wedding with my wife that you don't really have a whole lot of things that you can put your personality into. You can, but really that just makes people angry. People like traditional weddings. So I'm like, cool, you guys can have a traditional wedding. But 2 days before, we're going to throw this huge concert, and we're going to have bands from Chicago. We're going to have bands from like Pennsylvania. We're going to have bands from all over, all my favorite bands. We're just going to pay them absurd amounts of money to do a one-off show in the fairgrounds, the 4-H fairgrounds up in Noblesville. And so we did it, and like 200 people showed up, and I was like, this is amazing. So we kind of, after that, I noticed that, and when I did the show, I knew this was true too. There's not a lot of punk shows happening. So we're like, well, we're going to be the ones that are booking the punk shows. So we started doing some shows at the Underground in the Harrison Center in downtown Indianapolis. We did them there for about 2 years, and then I guess toward the end of that, we were kind of noticing that the Harrison Center wanted to focus more on art, and we were doing bigger and bigger concerts, and we really wanted a space that was really going to be behind us and pushing music and pushing the music scene in Indianapolis. And so we met up with Todd Fisher, who's the guy that runs the church here, and he's like, well, I've got this space, but it's way bigger than what we're able to. We would love to be doing concerts here. We would love to be doing all this stuff. We don't have the time, but we have a big space, and we're not going to be using all the space. So it's like, if you have, if you're able to do this, that would be amazing. And so I'm like, perfect. So Todd Fisher's been behind us and doing concerts here the whole time. And that's been really awesome. And they basically have a thing called the Central Space, which encompasses a lot of what goes on in this building, which is really great. So we started the ES Jungle here in the basement, up here at Westfield and Central, just a couple minutes walk from downtown Broad Ripple. And we've had bands from all over the country play here. We've had bands from all over the world play here. We had a band from Scotland and a band from Germany play here. Bands from California, bands from the East Coast, West Coast. We've brought the Casualties here. Is probably one of the biggest bands that we've booked. Mustard Plug is another pretty big band. The Coffin Cats. I just love the fact that, like, the Casualties show is hilarious because literally there's like a little punk rock family. It's like that drove here from like Louisville. It's like this mom and dad, and they had like literally they brought their little 5-year-old daughter who like really gets into punk music, and like their 12-year-old kid, and I love that. I mean, that's something that you can't get anywhere else, and I think that's really on our best shows. That's what's really cool. Two pieces of Piratical that are the core of what we do is trying to bring in awesome national bands, as well as try to build up the local music community, give the local musicians, especially the ones in high school, a place to play, a place to have a positive, drug-free, alcohol-free experience with music that they can't have because there's not a lot of places for kids in that, the 15 to 21 range for them to go. Our audience is mostly 15 to 25. But especially a place for them to perform and a place that their peers can come out and see them, that 15 to 21, before they have, before they're old enough to be able to play in bars, providing a place for them to play locally. We're basically one of two places, us and the Emerson, and so there's a lot of local bands, there's a lot of local music, and not enough of it is getting a stage to play on. Honestly, for a while, there wasn't a lot of all ages spaces to play, which is a huge bummer because like when you're a kid, where do you go to hang out and have a good time? It's like you have the mall, you can hang out in like the Broad Ripple Strip, you know, you can go to your friend's house and get drunk, and like we wanted a space that was going to be positive, that, you know, that drug-free, alcohol-free space, a place that parents would be okay dropping their kids off, just to hang out. I mean, I think it's really important in that regard, having another space that kids can go and just have a really good time. I mean, that's really close to our heart, and experience really good music. I think another really important thing is bands in I mean, there's a lot of kids that have a lot of things to say, and there's a lot of kids that are massively talented in their musicianship, and so it's like being able to give those kids a space to play in front of their peers is really, I don't know, I think something that is really important, especially if you want to have any sort of music community. But I mean, Piratical, there's a lot of things that go on with Piratical. I mean, we talked about we have like a little hockey club. We started like a book club thing where we all kind of read books, and we all hang out a lot. A lot of kids that come more regularly, you know, hang out at like, my wife and I live in a big house with a bunch of other people that we met at concerts, you know, and so there's like the Pirate House that people hang out at. There's a community aspect to it that's really cool. As far as like a company perspective, having our own venue is like the end goal, and then maybe once we have our own venue, maybe we'll work on like some artist development stuff, because I'd love to see a lot of the great bands get out of the Indianapolis and be able to be national bands that are able to tour, you know, all over the country. And Indianapolis is a great place because you can get a lot done here if you have that desire, and so I think that's seen in what we've been able to accomplish with Piratical, but I think there's a lot. We just keep being able to do more and more things, and the community keeps growing, and the music community keeps growing, but also even just greater community, and it's really cool. I love Indianapolis, and I love what's happening here, both musically and as a city. I think it's really awesome. If we ever get a mass transit system, I will do backflips, so hopefully that will happen at some point. So there's maybe our end goal for Piratical, building, and then we'll go from there into the greater Indianapolis and try to make it even more awesome here.
All right, this is your chance, y'all. I want to see some bumping and grinding. Grab the person next to you. Let's go. Honey, but this is not a love song. So grab a partner, dance until the moon turns into the sun. This is a slow jam, honey, but I don't think it's a love song.